Alright everyone, welcome back to another video, and in today's video what I have for everyone is my full review of the iPad Air 5th generation, or in particular this is my full review of the iPad Air 2022. In particular this is the M1 iPad. So I've been using this iPad for a good amount of time, and I can really say that I put it through its paces and I really gathered my thoughts and opinions on it, and that's what I'm going to share with everyone in today's full review. So hopefully by the end of this video, you guys and gals will know if this particular iPad is still worth picking up here in early to mid 2026. And if you watched any of my other videos, then you will know that I do not plan on keeping this iPad. I actually plan on giving it away to one of my favorite people. And I think they really are going to get some usage out of it, especially with all the cases and accessories that I'm giving them with it. But that being said, before I can clean it up, factory reset it, and give it to them, it would make a nice early Valentine's Day / early birthday present, so they should really enjoy it. But before we can do all of that, we gotta review it. And spoiler alert, this is a really good one. I really want to keep this one. There's only one issue that I have with it, and that is the size. I wish I had this type of processing power and performance in a more compact size, right? But I'll expand on that as we go throughout the video. Let's get into today's full review. And also, please forgive the big amount of stuff you see in the background. This is the only way that I could frame up this iPad so y'all can see everything in the frame. Also, quick housekeeping before we jump in. Today's video is being recorded with the rear-facing primary camera on the Samsung Galaxy S22 Plus. Today's video is being recorded in 1080p at 30 FPS, and we are using external audio to record the audio for today's video. All the audio for today's video is being recorded via my Comica Uni D microphone, as well as I am using my professional studio lights here today as well. So please let me know what you guys and gals think of the overall video quality, the overall audio, and the overall lighting. As always, all of your feedback is greatly appreciated, and remember to keep your feedback respectful, please. Also, one other thing, if this video piques your interest and you would like to see any more of my favorite or recommended coverage on the iPad Air 5th generation, or any of my other iOS coverage, I will have that linked up down below in the video description. So the video description will be a one-stop shop for you guys and gals, and you should be good to go. Also, if this video piques your interest and you would like to know where you can purchase anything featured or talked about in today's video and also help support the channel, all of the affiliate buy links to everything that I'm going to talk about and or featured in today's video will be linked up down below in the video description as well. And as the name implies, if you guys and gals decide to make your purchase using those links, I do get a small percentage of commission that I do put back into the channel, and that's at no additional cost to you guys and gals. So I consider those affiliate buy links a win-win for everyone in my opinion. Alright, housekeeping done. Let's get into today's full review. So starting off here, the first thing I want to talk about with everyone is the overall build quality and design of the iPad Air 5th generation. Alright, let's do this. So talking about the overall build, right? This particular tablet is built out of aluminum and glass. So you got a solid aluminum chassis on the rear, which is a machined aluminum chassis. And then on the front, you have an LCD display, right? And that's what we have in terms of the build quality. Now, in terms of those materials, the whole reason why this tablet is called the Air is because this is one of the thinnest and lightest tablets that Apple has ever made. And this is marketed as being a productivity beast in a very lightweight package. That's why they call it the Air. So basically, if you want iPad Pro performance, but you don't want something as heavy and as big as the iPad Pro, then you should be looking at the iPad Air right here, right? And I gotta tell y'all, in terms of the size, this is pretty big. There's no way around it. But in terms of the weight, this actually has a very, very nice weight to it. I really can't complain there. I actually really, really like the weight on this one. So that is really, really good as well. Okay, but talking about the overall build quality and the design on the whole, I have to say Apple has done a great job here. In terms of the build quality, this tablet feels really, really good in the hands and very lightweight. And you know, I haven't really had any issues with the overall build. No rattling, no creaking or anything like that. And in terms of the design, I really, really like this premium unibody aluminum design. Again, Apple has done a great job. So talking about the build quality and design on the whole, it's overall top notch in my overall opinion. All right, now let's keep it moving. Now up next, the next thing I want to talk about with everyone is the star of the show right here. Let's talk about the overall display. So up front, dead center here, we have a 10.9-inch liquid retina LCD display. So what does that mean in normal people terms? This is basically a really good display, a really good LCD display. And in typical Apple fashion, it has the funky Apple resolutions. So in terms of the resolution for this display, it has a 1640 by 2360 display. All right. So what does that mean? A slightly better than 1080p plus display, and that gives it a screen density of 264 pixels per inch. Right? Right. But again, what does that mean? That means overall, y'all, this is just a really good display. So let me pull up something and show y'all how this display performs here. So let's jump on YouTube. All right. And let's go to this Jamaica 4K video here. And let me turn it down so we don't get copyright infringements. So let's turn that down. And let's crank this up. And let's see here. Can we max this out? Yes, we can. Right now it's streaming in 1080p, but I do believe we can max it out here. So let's go ahead and max it out. Alright, and let's do 4K. So now it should be streaming in 4K. Let's double check. Yep, 4K. And let me just show y'all here. If we make this big, this is a really, really good display. Okay? Really, really good display. And in particular, what also matters with the display, and also when we don't talk about the resolution, the nits brightness. So in terms of the nits brightness, this particular 10.9-inch display has a peak brightness of 500 nits. Okay? Now, some of y'all may say, well, if you're taking this outdoors, that may cause a problem. You might be right. But basically, this has the brightness of a iPhone 11, which still gets the job done in my overall opinion. But indoors here, you're really not going to have any issues with this display. And I got to tell y'all, talking about the display in terms of day-to-day performance, I really have not had any issues. No issues whatsoever. Whether I was binge watching content, listening to music, or working on videos, or just consuming media in general, I really didn't have any issues with this display. No issues whatsoever. And I know some people may say, but look at the bezels. Look how big these bezels are. So, you know what I like about these bezels? I can pick it up and I'm not interrupting what I'm doing here. These bezels make it perfect to use with one hand or two hands and still interact with the device. That's what I love about these bezels. And regardless of however I want to hold it, I always have some nice bezels to hold on to. So do I care about the bezels? No. It actually is a nice selling point in my opinion, because now I always have somewhere to hold on to and it doesn't mess up what I'm trying to do with the tablet. So all you guys talking about, oh, look at those bezels. So, me, myself, I feel like the thin bezel trend, that was, why did we do that? That just made things harder to use. Oh, we got to make the bezels as thin as possible. Why? But it is what it is. In regards to the display, in my opinion, as I've said, the display on this tablet here, or in particular the iPad Air 5th generation, is top notch in my overall opinion, and I absolutely loved it in my time with it. And again, I haven't had any issues. Okay, so up next now, let's dive a little bit deeper into some more hardware and some more software on this tablet right here, and let me give y'all my overall opinions. All right, so in regards to more hardware, right, in particular with the hardware, this particular tablet is packing 8 gigs of RAM, and it has 256 gigs of onboard storage. There's no micro SD card on this one, but no Apple products have storage expansion. Maybe some of the MacBooks or the Mac Minis, but none of their phones or tablets have micro SD card expansion. All right. And this particular iPad here comes in either 64 or 256 storage variants. I have the 256 storage variant. Okay. And we already talked about the display. It's a 10.9 inch LCD display. We already talked about the peak brightness, 500 nits. In regards to more internal specifications, this particular tablet has a 7600 milliamp hour battery on board. Okay. And then in regards to the cameras, we have a 12 megapixel front facing camera, which is used for your video calls and FaceTime calls. And then on the rear of the tablet, we also have another 12 megapixel camera that you can use. And both of those cameras can record in up to 4K at 60 FPS. All right. Now, me, myself, I haven't really used the cameras like that in any heavy capacity. This has basically just been used as a FaceTime tablet and basically general editing and content consumption tablet. I'm not out there recording full-fledged videos with my tablet cameras. Oh no. It's too big for all that. Maybe the smaller one when I get it, but not this big one right here. But that's what we have in terms of the hardware right there. Okay. Other than that, we also have AC Wi-Fi. We have Bluetooth 5.0. In particular, we have up to 27 watt charging via the USB Type-C charging port. Really happy to see that. And then we have a quad speaker setup. So we have 2 speakers on this side and we have 2 speakers on this side with our microphones. Now that goes stereo this way if you hold it in portrait, and that goes stereo this way if you hold it in landscape. I think I said that backwards, but y'all know what I'm saying. If stereo this way if you hold it in portrait, up and down, and stereo this way if you hold it in landscape. So you shouldn't have any issues with the speakers on here, and I'm going to give y'all a speaker sample in a little bit here. Okay? But all in all, that's essentially what we have in terms of hardware when we talk about core hardware specifications. And in terms of the processor, this particular tablet is running Apple's desktop processor with the Apple M1 chip on board. All right. So this has a flagship laptop desktop processor in it, and I gotta tell y'all, in terms of the overall performance, this processor and this loadout pretty much handled any and everything that I threw at it. 4K video editing, the heaviest of heaviest workloads, anything. This processor and RAM kit loadout handled it with ease. Okay, and that's one of the reasons why I really don't want to get rid of it, and I really want to get another one. But it is what it is. I already gave my word. I already made a promise. It is what it is. I keep my word around here. It is what it is. But in terms of the daily performance here, no issues. All right. Now, in terms of the software, okay, this is running the latest version of iOS. This is running iOS 26.2.1. I think 26.2.2 might be out, but I haven't updated to that. But in terms of the latest software, that's what we're running, 26.2.1. Okay? And I gotta tell y'all, in terms of the software, it's a little quirky, but it works. Alright? Now, in particular, when we talk about software, y'all can see in terms of storage, I'll gray out all of the sensitive information here, but y'all can see in terms of the storage, this is the 256 gigabyte variant, and y'all can see I've been using this bad boy like nobody's business. Okay? But then you can also see, and this verifies that it is an M1 processor because we do have Apple Intelligence on here. Okay? You really only get the Apple Intelligence or AI features with the M1 chips, or you have to be running the newer iPhones, at least an iPhone 15 Pro or newer. So that's even more verification for everyone. All right. But in regards to the software, honestly, it has been really, really good. Now, the only thing that I really changed here is the multitasking loadout. Most of the time, I bounce between full apps and windowed apps, right? So when I'm editing videos and I'm going to be multitasking a lot, I put it on windowed apps mode. But if I'm just going to be using it for regular general usage, I put it in full apps mode. All right? That's the only thing I really tweak in the settings, right? And that being said, I have to say the Siri with ChatGPT integration is really, really good, right? So whereas before Siri would have a lot of issues with just the general performance, now that it's backed by ChatGPT, almost all of those issues are gone, right? And that's what I really, really like about having the M1 series. And even further still, with the latest news that just dropped, where Apple is going to actually be making a deal with Google to integrate Google Gemini into their assistant, that means that it's going to have access to ChatGPT and Google Gemini. It's going to be off the chain. And similar to what Google already does, Apple is going to give you the ability to choose which actual assistant you want to use. So you'll be able to choose between, I'm not going to say her name again. She start with the S word because I don't want to trigger it and I don't want to trigger my other devices. Or you'll be able to choose between Google Gemini or ChatGPT. So that's really, really nice. And I'm happy that Apple decided to just go ahead and bite the bullet and do that, because let's face it, ChatGPT and Google Gemini had Apple beat from day one in regards to their assistant and in regards to the AI features. So they tried for as long as they could, but they just couldn't hammer it down. So they went ahead and bite the bullet, and now they're making partnerships. So overall, as an end customer, it's going to be a really great experience for me. And currently, based on what I have been using, it has been overall a great experience. So I can't complain. Now, I did say in regards to the software that it has been a little quirky. You know, certain things just don't perform the way I'm used to them performing, and that's because I'm coming from an Android experience, right? In particular, when I edit videos here, let me give y'all some insights to how this goes. So I use KineMaster to edit my videos. I use Google Docs for all my documents and things and notes. And then I use Collage Maker for my thumbnails, right? And in particular, when I'm editing videos here, it still performs basically the same, but certain things are different, a lot different on iOS than they are on Android. And in particular, the multitasking experience is a lot different on iOS than it is on Android. Now let's say, because this is something I do a lot, let's say I'm editing a video and I want to have access to my bullet point notes, okay? In Android, you can basically just do a quick gesture and drop it out into multitasking mode and group apps together. In iOS, that's a little bit different. Now you can grab the handles and you can swipe down and you can get the windows. So you can resize and then you can get the window bubbles up here and you can put it in specific orientations and then get your multitasking that way. But it's just not as seamless as what I'm used to on Android. Now it does work and certain parts of it are extremely polished, and certain parts of what Apple is doing here with the multitasking, I wish Android and Google would copy some of those things. But for the general multitasking, when you want to do heavy multitasking, I still feel as though Android is better for that, right? But other than that, that's really the only quirky thing that I have in regards to the software. Other than that, the overall software experience has been really good. Okay, so Apple still has some work to do there with the multitasking experience, but all the other aspects are super solid. All right, so that goes over the hardware and that goes over my experience with the software. Now, the next thing I want to do with everyone is talk about the Wi-Fi performance and give y'all a speaker sample. So let's load up some music here, some copyright-free music here. Okay. And I'm going to let it play for a little bit. And then we're going to talk about how I feel the overall speaker performance is and how the Wi-Fi performs. So we got some copyright-free music by NF here. And I'll link up all the featured music and featured artists down below in the video description. So if you like what you hear, go ahead and give him a subscribe. Go ahead and give him a follow. All right. I'm all about sharing the love around here. So let's go ahead and load this up. Okay, let me pause it real quick and let's set up the speakers. So let me max this out. Okay, volume is maxed out and I'm going to rotate my mic so it's facing the speakers here so y'all get a nice sound sample. Let's bring this in. Now, for all my headphone users, this will be loud. Please adjust your volumes accordingly, okay? All right, because y'all see how close my professional microphone is to the speakers on the iPad. So this will be loud. So I'm going to let this play for a little bit. Then I'm going to come back and give y'all my overall thoughts and opinions on the speaker performance and the Wi-Fi performance. And we're going to scrub through the videos so y'all can see how the Wi-Fi performs in real time. So here we go. I'm going to stop talking now and we're going to go ahead and push play.
Hey kid, don't ever let them get inside your head. They'll tell you what to do in life instead of everything you know that you could get. Don't let them guide your life towards regret. I'll fight for what I love with every breath. My past is filled with things I won't forget. I use them all to push me to my best. So treat the worst of times just like a test. If only I could go back in time, I'd tell myself that everything will end up alright. Just push yourself, test yourself, figure out what you like, and find your limits, don't be rigid, always work towards a prime. Surround yourself with open minds, people can change your life. A few friends with intent can help you feel alive. Find a passion, take some action, and with a little time, just be patient, make a statement, try to enjoy your life. They'll try to kick you while you're down. They wanna rise up while you drown. They wanna fill your head with doubt. They're silently scared that you'll figure it out. I'll make it look like I'm losing, won't bother hiding my bruises. And when they finally think you're wounded, then it's your chance to be ruthless.
Okay, let's scrub through and check the Wi-Fi performance.
Gonna stop, I could fall flat on my face and I swear I will get back up. Cause hate that. I've been doing fine. I'm not wasting. Surround yourself with open minds. People can change your life. A few friends with the.
Okay, so there you guys and gals have it. Real quick Wi-Fi performance test, real quick speaker test as well. Let me readjust my mic here and we can continue on with the video. Now, overall, when we talk about Wi-Fi performance, honestly, it has been super solid. Okay, and same thing when we talk about overall general speaker performance, it has been super solid. Now, also, this particular version of the iPad Air does support a physical SIM card or a eSIM. So if I wanted to, I can go get a data SIM from any one of my carriers and have LTE support on here and make phone calls. But I will have to go get a dedicated SIM just for the iPad. I tried to put my SIM card from my Pixel in here and it popped up and everything registered, but the data wasn't working. And that was because I need a specific data-only SIM card for it to work in the iPad Air. But everything registers out the box. So all I have to do if I really want to do it is get a dedicated data SIM card, and then I will have access to LTE and data and making phone calls straight from the tablet. But this is the maxed out version with the full support. Okay? But that being said, the Wi-Fi performance has been top notch and the speaker performance has been top notch as well. I gotta tell y'all, whether I'm listening to music, as you guys and gals just heard, on YouTube Music or YouTube, or even Spotify or Pandora, or I'm binge watching some of my favorite TV shows on Netflix, Hulu, Amazon Prime, the speakers on the iPad Air 5th generation have been top notch indeed. Okay, and so too has the Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi has been phenomenal, even for editing and uploading big video files. No issues with the Wi-Fi, no issues whatsoever. So good stuff there when we talk about the Wi-Fi and the speaker performance. Now let's get into the Bluetooth. And this is another area where the iPad Air 5th generation has done a great job. So if I load up the Bluetooth here, y'all can see just a small amount of devices that I keep paired to the iPad Air 5th generation. Now I've paired up way more than this in the months that I've had this tablet, and the overall Bluetooth performance has been top notch. I haven't had any issues with the Bluetooth. And again, in particular, it's Bluetooth 5.0 built into the iPad Air 5th generation right here. And the Bluetooth performance has been top notch. No issues with the Bluetooth, no issues whatsoever. And y'all already know, I typically like to use this like a laptop. So in general, now if you check out my case and accessories videos, y'all know I put it in one of my favorite cases. Then I pair it up to my favorite Bluetooth keyboard and my favorite Bluetooth mouse. And I typically use this like a laptop, right? So this is like my portable laptop / media tablet when I'm on the go. Or, you know, if I'm on a trip, this is what I like to use. And I gotta tell y'all, as someone that uses mostly wireless connectivity and Bluetooth, the Bluetooth performance has to be super solid. And I'm very happy to report that it has been. So Bluetooth, again, top notch in my overall experience. All right. So moving on now, let's talk about the overall camera experience. And again, as I alluded to earlier, this has a 12 megapixel front-facing camera. And it has a 12 megapixel rear-facing camera, and both cameras can record in up to 4K at 60 FPS. But in all honesty, all I've ever done with these cameras is taking FaceTime calls or Facebook Messenger calls or just video calls in general via WhatsApp or Telegram. I haven't really snapped too many selfies with the front-facing camera, and I've snapped no pictures with the rear-facing camera at all. But I have to say, The FaceTime and video calling has been phenomenal. And these cameras actually do a really great job for that. So camera performance in regards to taking video calls and things of that nature with the iPad Air 5th generation has been really good. Okay? Now, up next, let's talk about the battery life and the overall charge times. And this has to be one of the most important categories, especially for something like a tablet. Okay? Now, again, as I said earlier, in regards to the battery on this bad boy right here, it has a 7600 milliamp hour battery. And it does charge up via USB Type-C, and it does support up to 27 watt wired charging via the USB Type-C port. And then also, you do have your Apple accessories that you can use with the magic pins on the back, so you can use the magic keyboard and all that good stuff. I don't really use that. I just use a regular keyboard and mouse, but just so y'all know that. But in regards to the battery life on the iPad Air 5th generation has been really good. Okay? And I have to say really good because on the older software, now when I bought this, it was running iOS 18.6.1, and that battery life was phenomenal. Okay? I couldn't kill this in a day if I wanted to. Right? But, and this is a big but, I'm a tech head. I like new things. So I was trying my best to keep it on the old software, but I'm like, I really want to try some of the new features. So I went ahead and upgraded the software, and little by little, it started to tank the battery life. Okay? Now, I've been editing on this heavily all day. Alright? I must have did 5 videos today. This is going to be my 5th video on the day. Right? So I've been editing on this non-stop, and the battery has really taken a hit. Now, I charged it up to 100 before I started, and by the time I got done with my 3rd video, I had to charge it again. And y'all can see here, even while recording this video, it's down to 56%. So the battery life, even on the newer software, is still really good, but it pales in comparison to the battery life that I was getting on the older software. So I have to say this. If you don't need to update your software, don't update it. If you're running on older iOS software and everything is running flawlessly, leave it, use it, enjoy it, because that's going to be the best battery life you're going to get. You should only update your software if you're having an issue, and after doing research, you know that your issue is resolved by upgrading to newer software. If your issue does not get resolved by upgrading to newer software, don't upgrade to newer software, because your battery life is going to tank. But that being said, for general usage, not editing as heavily as I have been, I'm still getting really good battery life overall out of the iPad Air. When I'm just using it as a regular content consumption device, I could say it lasts me about a day and a half. But it was noticeably better on the older software. That's why I bring that up. So the battery life on here, as I said, is still really good. Now, talking about the charge times, right? The charge times on here are basically what you would expect from a tablet. It's very, very similar to the charge times that I get on my Tab S6, right? So in general, it's going to take about 2 to 2.5 hours to reach a full charge, right? That's not bad. That's about average for tablets. Tablets don't really charge fast unless you have like a OnePlus tablet or something like that, or a Huawei tablet. If you're using a standard Android tablet or a standard iPad, that's about average, 2 to 2.5 hours to reach a full charge. Do I wish it was faster? Yes, but it is what it is. And y'all already know I've tried all the fast chargers that I have. That's as fast as it goes. On average, I've seen it peak out at 27 watts. And it only really keeps that max 27 wattage from about low single digit percentages to 80%. After 80%, it really slows down to like 9 watts. And it basically trickle charges to full. But that's about average for tablet charge time. So it's good. Now, putting that into perspective, when we talk about battery life and charge times on the whole, because the battery life is really good, it kind of bumps that up. So it's really good across the board, right? So that covers that. Now, that also brings us to the final part of this review, right? The pricing and my final thoughts. And for those of you who didn't catch my other content, am I going to be keeping this? And if you've been watching the video, you already know I am not. But in regards to the pricing, right? I actually picked this up from my local pawn shop. All right. And I got this for $300 flat after taxes. All right. And then if you factor in all the cases and accessories, aside from the ones that I got from the Amazon Vine program, which I got for free, I paid about $8.32 for the other accessories. So a grand total, accessories included, okay, this ran me $308.32. Now, when I originally bought it, it came with a case, it came with a screen protector pre-installed, and it came with an Apple Pencil, right? I didn't like the original case that it came with, and the screen protector, it really wasn't functioning right in regards to using the tablet, so I took the screen protector off. For tablets, you really want to use like a matte screen protector so you retain the feel of it, or you don't want to use any screen protector at all. You just want to use a really good case. And because of what I do with the tablet, it made more sense for me to take the screen protector off. And I didn't really like the angles that the case that came with the tablet had. That's why I went out and found other cases that gave me multiple angles and pretty much gave me the laptop-like experience that I like. But in general, when we talk about pricing, that's what I paid. So a grand total of $308.32 for everything that I've covered on the iPad Air. That's what I paid. Now, let's jump on Amazon real quickly, and I'm going to give y'all the real-time pricing. So, as of the recording of this video, it is February 10th. It's actually my big sister's birthday. Happy birthday, big sis. I don't think she watches my content, but if she does, happy birthday. I hope you're having a great day today. But let's jump on Amazon here. So this is the Starlight variant, okay? This is like the goldish silver variant right here. And this is the Wi-Fi and LTE iPad Air 2022, okay? And this is the 256 gigabyte storage variant. So pulling it up on Amazon, let's go the cheapest way possible. So let's go for the Renewed program. And let's see. So Amazon Renewed. Okay. The only one they have with the max storage with Wi-Fi and LTE is the Starlight variant, which is cool. That's the one that's featured in the video. And that's going for $472.14. And that's before taxes, right? So I would say I got a great deal on this because I paid for the tablet itself and the accessories that it came with $300. And then getting the additional accessories was just another $8.32. So getting the max storage variant in basically brand new condition with all of the accessories that I got and only paying that much, that is a great deal in my opinion, right? And as y'all heard, to get the same thing, not including the accessories, it would be a minimum of $472.14. Okay, and that's before taxes, and that's before shipping and handling. But let's say you was like, I don't need LTE, I just want a Wi-Fi variant. So let's jump down to Wi-Fi only, no LTE, and let's see what we got going on here. So when you jump down to Wi-Fi only, all the colors are available. So you got the blue, you have the pink, you got the gray, you still have the Starlight, and it's some pretty good pricing. So $380 is the cheapest I'm seeing right here, and $395 is the most expensive. And keep in mind, this is for the 256 gigabyte variant. Honestly, let's be honest, y'all. Who's really using 64 gig variant iPads? You sneeze and that storage is full. If you try to do anything productivity oriented, that storage is full. And I'm not going to use a whole bunch of iCloud storage. Oh, no. The first thing I do on all of my iOS accessories is disable the iCloud. And honestly, you should be going for the 256 gigabyte variant and turning that iCloud storage off. Alright? That's just another way for Apple to get more money up out of you on a regular basis. You don't really need to do that. So I would honestly only recommend the 256 gigabyte variant. And honestly, if you don't need LTE, save the money, and that means you're only really paying what, $410 after taxes for this? So that's still a pretty good deal. Now, final thoughts. This, in my opinion, is a great tablet, okay? Like I've been saying throughout the whole video, productivity-wise, performance-wise, accessory-wise, this is a great tablet, y'all. I cannot lie. It's a great tablet. And the only issue I'm having with this tablet is the size. Honestly, if they ever come out with an M1 iPad mini, I would have to snatch that up with the quickness. But for as of right now, you're only really getting the iPad minis with the A series processors. So you have the Mini 6 with the A16, and then you have the Mini 7 with the A17. And honestly, I really want to grab one of those because if they have the same performance as the M1 iPad here, it's going to be a match made in heaven. But the only issue I have with this is the size. I wish it was smaller. I have the same issue with my Tab S6. It does a really good job, but I wish it was smaller. And that ultimately is why I'm giving this away. And I feel like my favorite person should really enjoy this and get some really good usage out of this. So she should really enjoy it. But that being said, if you have the money, is this a tablet that I can recommend? Well, if your usage style is similar to mine, or you just want something that's going to have super solid overall performance and have the software and support for years and years to come, because this is basically Apple's flagship silicone from their desktops and their laptops. Okay, so this is going to be fully supported for years and years to come. If you want something like that that's going to give you a bunch of solid performance and a bunch of longevity, and you have the money to spend, then you really can't go wrong with this right here. And honestly, if the size wasn't a big issue for me, I honestly would keep this or even consider getting another one. But best believe this has me super excited to pick up one of the mini series and see if it can give me similar performance. But that, guys and gals, does it for today's video. As always, I hope you guys and gals enjoyed the video. I hope you guys and gals found it helpful. If you did, please help your boy out by giving the video a thumbs up. That really does help me out. You don't know how much. Also, remember, if this video piqued your interest and you would like to see any more of my extended coverage on the iPad Air 5th generation, or any or all of my recommended accessories and favorite accessories, or any other iOS coverage, I'll link up all of my extended coverage, whether that be with the iPhones or the iPad Air 5th generation right here, and all of my other favorite recommended accessories. All of that will be linked up down below in the video description. I hope everyone's having a great day. I hope you guys and gals are staying safe out there, and I will catch everyone in the next video. Have a good one, everybody. We're out of here. Peace. And another thing, because this video is over 35 to 45 minutes long, it will be timestamped for your convenience, so please feel free to check out the video description as well, so you can jump around to different parts of the video if you want to know specific things about the iPad Air 5th generation. Alright, have a good one, everyone. We're out of here, and I will catch you guys and gals in the next one. Peace. Now, to load this up on my Tab S6 and get it edited and uploaded to YouTube. We're out of here. Peace.